Hello, everybody. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Pamela, and I am on a GLP-1 weight loss journey. I am using compounded tirzepatide, and today is shot day. So I am just completing my 7th week of tirzepatide injections. I started on November 22nd. And my weight at that time was 196.9 pounds. And so far things have been going pretty good. I'm gonna get my shot real quick, and then we're gonna get into how much weight I've lost this week. And so I'm gonna wash my hands, get all my supplies, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. I have washed my hands. I have my supplies here. And I'm going to draw up my tirzepatide. And I'm going to, if you've watched my last video, you'll know that last week I did 3 milligrams. So the loading dose for tirzepatide is 2.5 milligrams, which I did that for 5 weeks. And then on the 6th injection, I went up to the 5 milligrams. And that was, I didn't really have any bad reactions to that. I just felt like it suppressed my appetite a little bit too much because I had a really hard time getting in enough calories. So last week for the 7th injection, I went down to 3 milligrams, which is not a registered dose. It's kind of like a benefit of having a vial that you can, of course, with your doctor's advice, do mid doses. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you what I personally was doing. So don't do what I do. Do what your doctor tells you to do. But so I did 3 milligrams. And again, I felt like my appetite this week was a little too suppressed. I have kind of been posting some of my full day of eating little short videos. And if you've seen those, you know that my calories have been pretty low most of the days. And so I feel like the 3 is still a little bit too strong. I am going to go back down to the 2.5 milligrams this week. And I'm hoping that I've built up enough sustainable level in my system to where the 2.5 milligram dose will keep the food noise down now. The reason I went up to the 5 milligram was because I felt like the food noise was coming back and I was having a hard time at night with cravings. So I'm gonna go back down to the 2.5 and see how that works. And the good thing about that is that will stretch out my medication a little bit further. So I've got my syringe here. I'm going to take the cap off of the plunger and I'm going to clean the vial. If you're doing these multi-use vials, it's very important that you clean it off every single time that you use it so that it stays as sanitary as possible. So I'm cleaning off the vial. Then the other important thing is to make sure you let this dry completely before you puncture it. And a lot of times I don't really show that, but the magic of YouTube editing. So I've got my insulin syringe here and I'm going to, so for my concentration, and this may vary for everybody because I have gotten some questions about this, depending on how your compounding pharmacy compounded your tirzepatide, your units of measurement may be slightly different. So for me, 2.5 milligrams is 15 units. So I'm gonna draw the syringe back to the 15 And then when I puncture the vial, I'll push the air in and then draw out the 15 units. That eliminates the vacuum from creating in the vial, makes it a little bit easier to get the medication out, and a little bit less likely that you'll have air in your syringe. So let's do that. It looks like it's dry now. So I've got my syringe. And as you can see, it's probably better to see this way, it is a very tiny needle. So I'm sticking it right down in the middle of that. And then I'm gonna push the air in, turn it over, and then draw this, and I'll turn it this way so you can see, to the 15 mark. And let's see. There we go. And pull it straight out. And you can see that is halfway between the 10 and the 20. It doesn't really want to focus, but that is at 15. So I am going to put this back in the cap. I'm not going to recap it all the way, but just enough to where I can set it right here while I prepare. I do have some shorts on under my joggers. It is freezing in Texas, and freezing to Texas is anything below 50 degrees for those who don't know. But yeah, it's like in the mid to upper 30s, I think. So I am doing my left thigh. I did my belly first, my right lower abdomen, my left lower abdomen, my right upper abdomen, left upper abdomen. Then I did my right upper thigh, left upper thigh, right lower thigh, and today I'm doing my left lower thigh. So I'm gonna put this right here, and I'm gonna get a fresh alcohol wipe and clean this area. And let that dry. Okay. Now, I do see a slight little air bubble in here, so I'm going to flick it a few times just to try to get that up to the top and push that out real quick. Okay, there we go. Now, this is dry. I'm gonna pinch a little bit and stick it in, inject the medication. Let go, and we're all done. So that is it for my injection. And I know I just did something that I said last week that we should never do, which is recap your needles. And I am guilty, but it's my needle. It's not like I'm injecting someone else and then recapping it. The purpose of not recapping is so that you don't accidentally stick yourself. And I didn't. But it wouldn't matter because it would be me. It's not like I'm infecting myself with something that I wouldn't already have, because it's my own needle. But I digress. Okay, so I am going to put my medication back in the box, stick this back in the refrigerator, and then I will be back to talk about how this week went and give you my weigh-in. All right, I'm back. Everything's cleaned up. So let's talk about this week. So I already mentioned that I felt like the 3 milligram dose was a little bit too strong, or it suppressed my appetite a little bit too much. Of course, everybody wants to lose weight as fast as possible, but there is such a thing as losing weight too fast. If you are losing weight too fast, it puts a big strain on your body. That's when you start losing your hair, and it's not good. Your body you'll start losing more muscle than fat, and that's definitely not what we want to do. So I kind of wanted to back off. You got to make sure you're getting in at least a certain number of calories. For me, my goal is 1,200 calories per day, and that is quite low. But I have, at the moment, a very sedimentary. I don't do a lot. Let me put it that way. I work from home. I sit at a desk all day. By the time I get off, I'm so tired and so stressed. I don't have time or don't even feel like going to the gym or even going in the garage and working out. I am going to start working on that because I know that I need to start trying to build muscle so I'm not losing muscle. But at the same time, that is why my calorie level is or my goal is so low at this time. There's an app that you can do, a BEE calculator, I think it's called. I can't remember what it is, but I'll link one down below in the comments that you can put in all your information and it will tell you what your average calorie intake should be to maintain where you are, like how many calories you're burning a day to maintain at the weight that you're at. And that, I believe, came up to a little over 1,400 calories. So you want to be in a calorie deficit, of course, to lose weight. So I put mine at a deficit of about 200 calories per day from the 1,400. Well, I'm averaging right now probably about 800 calories on a good day. And so that's not good. I want to make sure that I'm getting in at least enough calories so that I'm not just wasting away. I don't want to get what they call the Ozempic face, the Ozempic butt, all of that. I want to look healthy as I'm losing weight. And I want to be healthy as I'm losing weight. I already have problems with losing my hair. As you can see, I have some spots here. I don't need to lose any more. So I said all that to say that I didn't want to stay on the 3 milligram dose if that was going to continue to suppress my appetite that much. I would rather fight with the food noise a little bit and maybe lose a little bit less weight every week than not have the food noise and be dropping too rapidly. So that is why I went back down to the 2.5. Again, just to recap, when I started on November 22nd, I weighed in at 196.9 pounds. So last week, when I weighed in, I was 183 pounds. And as of today, which is Friday the 10th, I weighed in at 179.9 pounds. So that is a loss of 3.1 pounds from last week and a total loss for the 7 weeks of 17 pounds. So I'm excited about that. I'm a little conflicted about going back down to the 2.5 and possibly slowing down my weight loss. But again, I want to do this in a healthy, sustainable way and not just race to the finish line. Another thing I wanted to talk about today is I've been watching, of course, I stay on YouTube all the time. I watch a lot of different content creators, and of course now watching a lot of people talk about their GLP-1 experiences. And one of the things that I've noticed a lot in those videos is people in the chat, in the comments saying, oh, I hit a stall. Oh, I'm not losing any weight. I lost 20 pounds in the first 3 weeks. And now for the last 4 weeks, I've hardly lost anything. Or, I lost 30 pounds in I'm sorry, I said weeks. I meant months. I lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. And now the third month, I only lost 1 pound. People, that is not a stall. A stall is when you are consistently not losing weight for 4 weeks or more. And I would go even a step further as to say that not only are you not losing weight, you're not losing inches. And on top of that, one thing that you really need to consider, if you're working out and you're strength training, you're building muscle, muscle weighs more than fat. So you technically can be losing fat but gaining weight. So don't necessarily jump so quick to say, oh, I've hit a stall, the medicine's not working anymore, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Now, if none of those apply to you and you're not eating over your calorie limits and you're hitting your protein goals and you're not just eating a bunch of junk food that's where your calories are coming from, and you're working out, your measurements haven't changed, and it's been 4 weeks and you feel like you're still not getting anywhere, then maybe it's time to talk to your doctor about going up in dose. It really makes me wonder when somebody says they've hit a stall. Have you really hit a stall? Have you taken everything else into consideration? Are you tracking what you eat? And of course, on this journey, you don't necessarily have to track what you eat. As a lifestyle, I don't want to track what I eat for the rest of my life. I'm doing it right now because I want to see what I'm actually putting in my body, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the proper amount of protein. As I get further into this journey, I won't track anymore because I'll start to know, okay, this much of this and that, it equals what I need for the day. So once you start to learn those things, you don't necessarily have to track anymore. But if you're at a point where you feel like you've hit a stall, start tracking what you're eating, and then you'll see maybe it's something that you're eating that's throwing your body out of whack. I know this is not keto. I'm not doing keto while I'm on this journey, specifically because I love carbs and I don't want to cut carbs out for the rest of my life. But just to relate this back, when I was doing keto, there were times when I felt like I hit a stall, and I would track what I was eating for a few weeks, and I would find that maybe it was the creamer I was putting in my coffee, even though it was zero sugar creamer. Sometimes those things have maltodextrin in them, or unknown sugar substitutes that can throw your body out of ketosis. So similar to that, there could be something that you're eating that could be spiking your insulin, which of course is going to change your body from burning the fat to burning the glucose for fuel. And that's where you might start hitting those little stalls, quote unquote. So just keep those things in mind. It may not be really a stall, or it may not be that you need to go up in medication. Maybe watch for particular things that you're eating that could be causing the weight to not move. Otherwise, if the scale's not moving, but you're seeing inches change and your measurements are going down, you're not in a stall. You're still losing weight. Technically, you're still losing fat, I should say. So I hope that was helpful. Yeah, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that and how your weight loss journey is going, because I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're either on a weight loss journey or you're considering a weight loss journey. So drop a note in the comment. Let me know what you think, and I will be back next week with another update.